This podcast is brought to you by The Senior Techie, a source of information for seniors and others about technology. Welcome to The Senior Techie podcast. Today we're looking at how you and millions of other older adults are completely flipping the script on the tech industry. We're going through some fascinating data to see what this means for your daily life.
Yeah, it's a really exciting topic. We are looking at a complete reframing of how the tech world needs to view its users, driven, entirely by changing demographics and adoption rates.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The Senior Techie shares a massive, honestly a surprising piece of data right out of the gate. They note that smartphone ownership among adults aged 50 and over soared from just 55% in 2016 to an incredible 90% in 2025.
Which is just a staggering jump when you think about it.
It really is. But here's my question. 90% is a huge number, but does having a smartphone mean people are actually using all the advanced features or just, texting the grandkids?
That is a great question. And what's fascinating here is that the data shows you are absolutely power users. Think about what happened over the last decade. The pandemic alone forced a massive wave of digital adoption.
From telehealth to managing finances.
Right, spot on. Telehealth, finances, online grocery shopping. You aren't just adapting, you are actively relying on and mastering these tools 24/7.
Here is where it gets really interesting. Because you've mastered these devices, the old stereotype of older adults struggling with basic technology is, well, it's completely shattered.
That is precisely the point. You are full, active participants in the digital world. With 90% market penetration, you aren't just a passive audience anymore.
You're actually the primary economic driver for these companies.
Yes, and the Senior Techie emphasizes a vital point here. Because you are such a dominant user base, it is well past time for tech companies to start designing for seniors instead of designing around them. If they want your dollar, they have to build what you actually want.
So what does this all mean for the devices you actually buy? We've all seen those clunky afterthoughts, like a mobile phone with buttons so big it looks like a calculator from the 1980s. Nobody wants that.
Right. Nobody wants to feel patronized by their devices. We're talking about real UI and UX improvements. That's user interface and user experience.
So not just dumbing down the software.
No, not at all. Designing for you means integrating better haptic feedback so you can actually feel a satisfying vibration when a digital button registers your touch. It means engineering slightly larger, more forgiving tap targets on touchscreens and creating simplified navigation menus that don't hide essential features behind 4 layers of submenus.
That is a huge benefit. It's about looking forward to future devices and apps that respect your tech-savvy status and cater directly to your real-world preferences, rather than treating usability as a secondary concern.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it raises an important question to leave you with. Since adults over 55 now represent this massive 90% block of smartphone users, how will your collective buying power force the tech industry to completely reimagine the next big wave of gadgets, like fully integrated smart home ecosystems or wearable health tech?
This podcast was brought to you by The Senior Techie. It's available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. If you'd like to keep up with their newsletters, you can subscribe for free by going to subscribe.theseniortechie.com.